It's widely accepted that Gregory, the protagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, is actually a robot. I'm not going to get into the whole theory, as many others have already done this far better than I could. Matpat literally just dropped a video detailing this exact theory, so go check that out if you want a deep dive. But here's a brief summary. Gregorys Vision glitches out when he sees Vanny, implying his eyes are digital video camera technology. Freddy's suspicious response upon first viewing Gregory after receiving the X-ray vision upgrade.
You look different to me. I can see movement through the walls.
Gregory looks incredibly similar to the crying child from FNAF 4, which I should note takes place decades prior to the events of Security Breach. You know, the child who dies in that game and is then told by Afton through Fredbear that he will put him back together. And most importantly, the fact that Gregory never needs to use the bathroom once in a 12-hour period. All jokes aside, while this is still technically a theory, the evidence is pretty overwhelming. Furthermore, lifelike animatronics indistinguishable from biological humans are very much canon in the FNAF universe. Sorta. So I'm very much inclined to believe this theory. There's a lot to unpack with all that, but what interested me most was one question. Assuming Gregory is in fact a robot, is he aware of that fact? Freddy is very much aware that he's a robot. He frequently references his parts.
This upgrade, it was Chica's. Please, be honest.
He willingly proceeds with mechanical upgrades to his system, and he even has an existential crisis about it at one point in the game.
I have never been allowed in here before. This must be where I was born. Look at all the endos. They're all the same. Have I always been a Freddy? Am I Monty with a different shell? What if I am not the first glam rock Freddy? Are there more of me at other pizzerias? Do we all feel the same? Am I special? If I am mass-produced, am I still art?
Thus, it's safe to presume that the other animatronics are also aware that they are mechanical. Sure, they may be inhabited by the spirits of deceased children, but they are very much cognizant of the fact that they possess robotic bodies. This isn't the case for Gregory. While it may just be a result of the developers not wanting to make the Greg is a robot reveal so obvious, I find it quite peculiar that Gregory never outwardly, or even discreetly, expresses anything regarding his robotic form. To the contrary, he explicitly goes out of his way to proclaim his humanity.
I don't know, I'm just a kid. Maybe we should get you out of here. I don't think it's good for your programming.
Gregory continually draws distinctions between himself and the other robots at the facility. We see this when he claims,
This is crazy. It's like the whole place is trying to get me.
Freddy replies with,
I am not.
to which Gregory ultimately replies,
Why?
I do not know. I want to help you. Maybe they want to help you too.
I doubt it. For some reason, you're different.
While this could be subterfuge on Gregory's part, it could also just be an indication that he is ignorant of his true nature. Think about it. Imagine you just sort of woke up one day with memories implanted into you. Or heck, even no memories at all. Your creator never reveals your robotic origins to you, and you live your entire life none the wiser, believing yourself to be human. If this is indeed what happened to Gregory, then it's entirely possible that he isn't aware of his robotic origins. He may truly believe that he's a normal human boy caught in a very unfortunate situation. That said, there are some strong counter-arguments to this point. As I mentioned before, it could all be an act of subterfuge. I find this sorta unlikely though, as upon upgrading Freddy with Roxy's eyes, Gregory exclaims,
Really? I didn't know Roxy could see through walls.
If Gregory was trying to disguise his robotic nature, he would have acted a lot more nervous and frightened upon that realization. To counter this argument, when Freddy points out that Gregory looks different than usual, Gregory completely ignores the statement.
You look different to me. I can see movement through the walls.
Really? I didn't know Roxy could see through walls.
These are Roxy's eyes?
There's also the issue of aging. I'm no FNAF timeline expert, but if Gregory truly is a robot possessed by the soul of the crying child from FNAF 4, then he's been around for quite some time and predates the Pizzaplex by decades. Even if his creator never made him aware of his robotic origins, at some point Gregory would surely notice that he never seems to age like the other children. This is the biggest problem with the notion that Gregory isn't aware of his robotic nature. At some point over the decades that passed between Gregory being put back together and the events of Security Breach, he would have had to have recognized that something was unusual about him. He'd see other children aging around him, yet he would always stay the same. To suspend one's disbelief at that point, and for so long, Gregory would surely have to be deluded. So what do you guys think? Does Gregory know that he's a robot, or has he deluded himself into believing he's a human? Are there any arguments that I've missed? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, as I intend to continue producing content similar to this. Also, if you haven't seen it already, check out my video on what went wrong in the development and release of Security Breach. Thanks for watching.